Hello, welcome. This is my first video for 2026, so Happy New Year. And this is exactly what wants to be expressed. Stuff about 2026, not in a predictive way, right? I think we have enough of that, but I want to talk about this space from a very structural perspective, the mechanics of energy, because we have to understand we're finalizing the year of the snake, which was a very energetic, transformative year. It was a very fundamental building block, energetic year. Let's just say it like that, okay? And after every transformation, what follows is integration, is the test of coherence, right? Like how well did you embody this energy? What tweaks do you have to realize within this energy for this energy to become you, for you to become it, right? So if 2025 was intense, it was intense at a very energetic level, and it can be very intense. But 2026, and for me personally, integration, embodiment, it takes a lot more work than the breakthrough itself or the transformation. The shedding itself, see, I feel like that it's kind of on autopilot, if you want. You can't do much about it. You can scream, you can throw tantrums. You're in the process of transformation. It kind of just goes however it goes. But with embodiment, I like to say, right, this is where the rubber meets the road. It takes a constant awareness, presence, understanding what you're going through. And it's intense on a different level. So, having said that, how that looks to me from a field perspective, I see it as all these equations that are coming into maturity and they are ready to be solved, like right now. Right? Because the energy has ripened and they want to be lived. They want to be taken to the next level into density. So it's a very non-personal year. Maybe this is the idea from everything that I'm going to say. If you can remember that 2026 is not a personal year, even though you will be tested in such personal way. And this is a prediction, the way I see it, because, right, like how else? It's a coherence year. Who said that? I think it was Michael Beckwith, if I remember correctly. It's like coherence is the new currency. And boy, did that ring so clearly when I was looking into this, because if you're not understanding this structurally, it is very difficult to not take it personal, right? Because it's embodiment. This is how it works. Everything is personal in embodiment. So what do I mean when I say these equations? Equations to me, when an I am creates movement in the field through a desire or through a declaration, right? When we say I am abundance and we declare that, we create movement. Same with identity, right? When we identify with I am such and such, or not just as a being, but sometimes also as what we do, right? We also create movement in the field through that identity. So the field then, as soon as there's movement, will also create its pull on that equation back into stillness, right? And that's the infinity, the recursion, if you want to call it like that, right? So these movements are spiked, their equal signs have been drawn, and now the story is halfway, three-quarter, and now they're looking to solve. They're done. They're completed, because a lot of the transformation in the higher realms, those have completed. So now there's a squeeze, sort of, into the lower realms, where there is an immediacy, like a time crunch, to be done with these equations. So part of this also, this rush or this tendency for completion, is because there is an oversaturation, and you know that's clear. Just look in the news. The amount of movement on all fields is intense right now. So we have our personal equations, and then we have collective equations, right? And if you know about pendulums, you understand it's the same thing. An equation is, to me, very related to a pendulum. It is a pendulum that is oscillating, and it's oscillating with the purpose to be solved, let's just say, right? But the more people that join into an idea, into an energy concept, into a bandwidth, the more we keep that pendulum in perpetuation, because it has energy to keep going. And that's basically the idea also in our personal life. The more we identify with the story, or the more we are trying to solve a solution, or to come up with a solution to solve a problem, the more we are perpetuating that issue. Because I'm seeing a lot of equations kind of at the bottom, the low-hanging fruit creates a lot of noise, and actually a lot of, I call it unnecessary density, because those are the easiest things to just remove, are problems that don't actually need to come to an end. They don't want solvement. They want completion. Does that make sense? It's like they're tired of even being fed. It's like, can I allow entry back into stillness? I'm getting tired of this. In the 3D, if we remove, in the 4D, if we remove identity, if we remove meaning, if we remove emotional charge, we can create a solution where that issue just becomes obsolete, it becomes forgotten about, it becomes nothing. It just kind of fizzles away. The mind, right? It's the mind that it's like, well, but I don't know how it ended. But do you really need to know how it ended, or do you just want to complete it? How involved are you in this thing, right? Those are some of these questions, right? Because of this crunch, I also see that 2026 becomes a very unapologetic reflection back of who you are, not who you project. See, I feel like until now we had this leeway. We had a flexibility. Sometimes the universe would play with our illusion. It would indulge us in the illusions and in the projections. This is who I want to be. This is who I appear to be. But in 2026, because these equations are trying to rush to complete, maybe to our comfort, but most likely they just want to complete at the expense of our comfort. And I'm seeing this raw reflection back from the universe, like a mirror that has been freshly cleaned, and now you can see yourself so clearly with no interpretation left. So for example, if you had to take a situation through introspection, you have to take yourself through psychotherapy, analysis, whatever, to understand your location, you're just to increase your awareness, to gain clarity of your next step. This is different. It's different now because, well, it's beautiful. You have to also understand that this is a deeper, more mature love that the universe has. So it's basically saying, you are adult enough, you have gained enough strength that I don't have to be far away, I don't have to be foggy, I don't have to be symbolic. I'm going to be so straightforward with you, and I'm going to show you exactly who you are, not who you want to be. But I trust that you can handle this truth. So this is what I'm saying. It could become a very, very personal year very quickly if you buy into these stories as 3D realities. If you can gain some objective detachment, emotional objectivity, the Queen of Swords is your friend. If you're not into tarot, if you're looking for a inspiration, the Queen of Swords is the archetype, because she's not bypassing her emotions. She's so clear in who she is, because remember, this is integration, this is embodiment. It is a test year. What have you learned? You only know what you have learned if you can apply it. If you can teach it, if you can speak about it, that is not enough. You have to be it. The coherence is you. So, yeah, just remember, things will become personal. They are not personal. Things are trying to empty, clear, because there's just an oversaturation. It's not, nobody is orchestrating anything. They're just, the noise is too loud and the impulse of the noise is too intense. That's it. Going back to this reflection, if you're trying to find clarity in the depths of bombardment, I'm going to call it, just know that you, let's just say, without coherence, clarity doesn't come as it came before. Before, you might have sat down and thought a way through. Now, that is very difficult to happen without the coherence, because the field is more alive than ever. No, not more alive. That's stupid. It's more responsive. It is more responsive to stillness, to coherence. If you give in to reactivity, to what appears to be, without taking in the energetics and understanding things at this equation level, what is trying to solve, what is in me, out, what is dissonant in me, because there, I'm holding one idea, but my behavior hasn't caught up physically, physiologically to that energetic frequency. So where within me is the dissonance, right? Once you arrive into that alignment within yourself, this is an intimate space, an intimate moment. It's not alignment with a goal or something outside of yourself. It's not clenching to alignment, because that causes more equation, see, more pendulum, more force. It is an intimate state of being, and clarity arises from that. Now, it doesn't mean that it just shows up out of nowhere. You can work through logic, right? Because every coherent idea and solution is also logical. Maybe not at the 3D, right? But it's logical in the 4D or a 5D or a 6D or whatever D. But it's 100%, it has to be logical. So what I'm saying is coherence has to come first. Stillness is that space first, because the field is does respond to that state more. Well, I don't know in time, but since I've been working with it, I feel it is really responding this time, or in this space, to the stillness, to this coherence, and then clarity, the way we understand clarity, right? Like a path forward, understanding from which perspective I am operating, understanding who I am, understanding that the known and the unknown are they're not safe or unsafe. Let's just say it like that, right? We have arrived into a state within our body where the unknown doesn't frazzle us. It doesn't take our nervous system and jumps it, puts it into a frenzy. We can we have enough stability. Stability is a really great word. It's not a word, right? It's a frequency. It's a conviction within ourselves that we can navigate. We can navigate it all, as long as I'm within my center, within my alignment. And then keeping this emotional objectivity as you navigate the solvement of these equations, either simply completing them and poof, they go away, or sometimes you have to go through the 3D, because you're not by yourself, right? There are other people entangled into these equations, and they all have to solve at a harmonious level, and that takes some time for that solution to find itself within the energetic space. Okay, I took notes. What am I missing? Okay. Amplifying distortion, I covered this. maybe what I want to say with that, because these equations are kind of rushing to come into completion, the field is, like I was saying before, is very raw and will show you who you are very blatantly, very in your face. But it's also not afraid to amplify the distortion, right? Collectively, which means, I mean, you understand what it means because we've already dealt with that in 2025. It will get worse. The lows and the highs will be even more amplified, right? Because, again, non-personal, it's not even, it wants to be clear. It wants to be so blatant what is what. And there is enough coherence now, believe it or not, there's enough strength to accept reality, whatever it is, and deal with that. That requires a lot of strength, a lot of courage to stand in that. That now the field is saying, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to amplify until we max out our collective nervous system. So again, stillness, centering, those are your tools. However you go about doing that, right? Because everybody has their own style. Every tool is meant for a certain capacity, for a certain consciousness level. So, okay, what else? The exhale. Because the breath is that bridge between our physiology and our energetic body. This started to show up actually in November 2025 for me. I started to notice that it wants, like my body, but it's just a collective, right? The idea. It wants to exhale longer, more complete than inhale. And it makes sense now, especially when I'm seeing all these equations running around, wanting to, they're so thirsty to go back into stillness that now they're asking the breath itself to go deeper within our body. And you can do that with a specific situation that you're in, right? You're in the middle of it, and you just have to exhale all the way to the ground within that situation. That alone will help so much. Then I started to notice a lot of our breath stops, the exhale stops at heart center or maybe solar plexus. Take it all the way out. Make this, and it doesn't have to be a meditation. As you drive, as you're sitting in that meeting, as you write that email, become aware how deep, how shallow do you breathe. As you implement, it becomes a habit, right? So over the year, you don't have to put so much attention on checking in with yourself. The earlier you start, if you haven't started in 2025, to implement some steady awareness practices throughout the day, not just my 20 minutes meditation, that is helpful, but the way I see it now, it has to be every 2 hours, depending on your environment, depending on the stability, the chaos, the coherence, right, in your environment. So I'd say this is the time to really think about hygiene and the micro habits that you start to implement with your body, because the body is key in allowing the embodiment to happen this year. So, okay, I think I covered everything in my notes. It is overall, I would say it's actually a very exciting year, but it is a test year, a test of the self. Are you living your life, or are you breathing somebody else's ideas of what a good life is? Right? Like those questions. Who are you? And the relatedness, right? The relationship, the definitions of life in general and you within life are going to be poked at. So here we are, deep breath in. Thank you for being with me here. I don't know when I will have the next video. I'm not a regular YouTuber, right? And I was busy. I'm writing a book on multidimensional navigation. When something needs to be expressed, it will come, and that's when I make a video. It's actually quite annoying. It's like a nagging. It's a nagging energy until I make a video, and then it goes away. So I don't have a schedule. If you want to follow me, I'm way more consistent with my newsletter. Check out my website, my blogs. That's the space where I create a more fully, or more consistent, I guess is the word. And I have my own groups on my website. Some of them are free. Those are the spaces that I share more in depth what comes through. And when this nagging shows up, I know it's a YouTube video. So that's how I work for now, I guess. Thank you so much. Have a great year. Have fun if you can. Just really view this as an adventure. So I'll see you out there. Bye.